Medical crisis unveiled. Kelly Ripa's emotional plea as Mark Consuelos confronts critical illness. It began with what seemed like a typical evening. Mark Consuelos, beloved co-host of Live with Kelly and Mark, and his wife, Kelly Ripa, were spending quiet time together at their Upper East Side apartment. It was a rare moment of calm for the television power couple, whose relentless filming and production schedules often left little room for rest. They were laughing over a glass of wine, reminiscing about their early days. Mark telling one of his outrageous stories, Kelly playfully rolling her eyes like she always does. For a moment, everything felt wonderfully, blissfully normal. But in a flash, it all changed. Mid-sentence, Mark suddenly clutched his chest in intense pain, his face draining of color. At first, Kelly thought it was just one of his jokes, but then she saw the fear in his eyes and realized something was very, very wrong. In a matter of seconds, Mark collapsed. Kelly screamed. She ran to his side, trying to rouse him, her voice trembling as she called emergency services. The woman the public knows as witty, unstoppable, always in control, was now a wife in absolute panic, desperately begging her husband to open his eyes. Mark Consuelos was rushed to a private hospital under emergency conditions. The Ripa Consuelos family, famously open yet fiercely protective of their core, went completely silent. Rumors flooded social media, paparazzi camped outside their building, but inside, only a few knew what was truly going on, and the truth was more devastating than anyone could have imagined. After exhaustive tests and long consultations with specialists, Mark was diagnosed with an extremely rare and aggressive cardiac condition, a disorder doctors labeled unstable and critical. For a man who had spent decades as the picture of health and vitality, from his early days on All My Children to his energetic banter on Live, this news shattered those who loved him most. Incredibly, Mark had reportedly been ignoring signs for months. He'd brush off the persistent fatigue, the shortness of breath, the unusual chest pains. Just age catching up, he'd laugh it off. Too many reps at the gym, he'd joke. But it wasn't a joke. Not this time. Kelly, always the family's fierce protector, initially tried to shield the public from the pain their family was enduring. But as the days passed and the situation worsened, she could no longer keep silent. She issued a statement that would leave an entire nation stunned and in tears. "Mark is not just my husband," she said, her voice cracking. "He is the rhythm of my life, the anchor of our family, and the most vibrant soul I've ever known. Watching him suffer, watching him fight, has been unbearable. There are moments when I sit beside him and I can't believe this is real. I keep wishing someone will wake me from this nightmare." The world had never seen Kelly Ripa like this. She was vulnerable, unfiltered, broken, yet fiercely strong. Within hours, #PrayForMark began trending across the U.S. and beyond. Fans who had fallen in love with them on All My Children, laughed with them every morning on Live, and watched their children grow up, now rallied together. The outpouring was immense. Tributes poured in. Ryan Seacrest, Andy Cohen, and Jerry O'Connell all shared deeply personal messages. Even rivals from other networks reached out in solidarity. And perhaps most heartbreaking, their son Michael Consuelos, the usually cheerful son who is the spitting image of his dad, posted a recent photo of them laughing on set. He wrote, "Not ready for the world without your laugh, Dad. Keep fighting. I love you." Doctors, meanwhile, were trying everything. Mark was moved to a specialist cardiac care unit where he is now receiving an aggressive experimental treatment aimed at stabilizing his condition. It's a race against time. The prognosis is uncertain, but one thing is sure, he's not alone. Kelly hasn't left his side except to check on her children. She sleeps in a reclining chair in his hospital room, softly humming songs from their early years, gently rubbing his hand when he drifts into pained sleep. One nurse, who chose to remain anonymous, said, "She's the definition of grace. We see hundreds of cases every year, but the love she has for him, it lights up the darkest corners of that ward." Mark and Kelly's love story isn't one of tabloid fodder and fleeting romance. They've been together for nearly 30 years, quietly, steadily, lovingly. Kelly, a daytime television icon, met Mark when he was an up-and-coming actor on the set of All My Children. Their on-screen chemistry was electric, but their off-screen connection was eternal. She saw the ambitious young actor with a heart of gold. He saw the brilliant woman who would become his entire world. Through soap operas, sitcoms, morning shows, and now health battles, they have stayed side by side. But now, for the first time, their bond is being tested in a way they never imagined. In a private message shared with family friends, Kelly wrote, "I wish I could take the pain for him. I wish I could carry the burden so he could just rest. But all I can do is be here every moment, every second." It's hard to imagine live without Mark. His humor, his charm, the way he playfully teases Kelly, then turns to the camera with that glint in his eye. But right now, all that matters is one thing: his recovery. And as for Kelly, she's not just Mark's wife, she's his lifeline.